What is it?
Well, it's called Randomizer, and it's fitted to the guidance systems and operates under a very complex scientific principle called potluck. Now, no one knows where we're going. Not even the Black Guardian.
Not even us.
Hello and welcome to the Randomizer podcast. This is episode 39. I'm Tim.
I'm Chaz.
I'm Dave.
I'm Izzy.
We're joined by David and Izzy, our old friends who we're delighted to
Not
have.
old.
We're joined by David and Izzy, our very youthful friends who we're delighted to be with. We have all just watched The Giggle. Da 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 da. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
It's just a scale,
Is it just
Yeah.
a smell?
I think. Yeah. Wherever Mel said. So,
Still smart arse. That's
Izzy.
Mel, not you. Sorry.
yes. Izzy, why don't you lead us off and tell us what you made of this? And the specials before it as well, of course, because we haven't heard what you think of those.
What, all of them? For
All of
goodness
them?
Sake.
Bloody hell.
Exactly.
We're here all night.
Well, you can do one word for each if you want to keep it brief.
Star Beast, gorgeous. Second one, kind of midnight, but much wider, much more CG. And today, story, okay. Resolution, excellent.
Nice. All right, Davey?
Really liked Star Beast because I'm a big fan of the comic strips. One of my biggest heroes was Dave Gibbons. And I love Pat Mills, so seeing their names at the very beginning, was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. The second one, Wild Blue Yonder? Wild Blue
Wild, I
Yonder?
think.
Wow.
I can never get that right.
Deep blue something.
Yeah. The second one, I liked as well. Do you want me to continue, or are you going to leave that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I liked a lot of the Giggle. Unlike Is, not too sure about the ending.
It's certainly unprecedented, that's for sure. Chazzy boy.
I liked it okay, but I don't think there was enough story to fill it. I thought there'd be more threat to it. It didn't feel threatening enough. And the resolution of a game of catch was bullshit. Really.
Wow. Yeah, it felt a bit...
What the fuck? This is pointless.
And the fact he just dropped it, you think...
Yeah. And you think,
It didn't feel very epic, did it?
No,
No.
it didn't. And it should have for some reason.
A game of catch.
Yeah, I think there was there is some foreshadowing. He said, my not minions, but
My
some
legions.
my legions are coming. So yeah, obviously we're setting things up. RTD does this sort of thing anyway. It's quite good. The by regeneration, I had known about that for a while. I'm okay with it. But it's like I said to Davey, it seems a bit pointless because if you're wanting to have a previous Doctor appear, they don't need to be around. They can be in their time stream somewhere. So it's never really made a difference. So I can only assume that there is a point to this, which we will find out at some point.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping there's a point to it.
But I did think it's sort of what Davey was saying about it. It didn't feel the loss of a regeneration story, but I somehow think that it was like a closure of New Who, if you know what I mean. It's like he got his happy ending, no pun intended. And that's sort of in some ways tying up the original era, and now we're on a brand new track where possibly anything could happen.
Yeah, I could see that. I wasn't as kind of absolutely moment-to-moment gripped as I was for the other two. I was sort of thinking about my reactions a bit more than just watching the episode with the other two specials, which I guess is sort of a point against it. There's loads I loved about it. Mel, I love Neil Patrick Harris's performance. And then there were things that just sort of felt a bit flimsy or clumsy even, I don't know, but almost too many ideas, and yet, like you say, not kind of enough threat, not enough Toymaker, not enough epicness.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess the moment he was pointing the big gun at Tennant, I was like, well, this is the regeneration then, and that was exciting. So I didn't really have a sense of how much episode there was left, but I was like, wow, are they going to kill Tennant and have like half an episode of Shitty or whatever? But and then I didn't know about the bifurcation thing at all. And so that was a really interesting surprise. Although I was sort of distracted by the fact that Shitty's entire first appearance of the Doctor is in his pants.
I think that's a
Could have been worse. Could
foreboding
have
of
been
what's...
someone else's pants.
Yeah, I think that's a foreboding of what's to come if you look at his Instagram.
They shared out the clothes, and so thank goodness he got the pants. It could have been a much more...
Yeah, much.
It could just have been wearing socks.
Just like do one of those like those sex comedies where they contrive to have an object in the foreground and masking anything naughty.
Maybe it's
that
a
big graviton gun would have.
Maybe it could be a little Santa hat. You know, we're going into Christmas.
That's like, well, there's the big Toymaker's box. He could have like clutched in front of himself or something.
That's another bit of Toymaker's box.
There were a few things that there's this gold tooth, and he's talking about the master. Being in the gold tooth.
That was. Do you remember the end of Last of the Time Lord?
Yeah, with the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
and
taken
you
for
hear
Flash
the
Gordon.
laugh as well, and you think, oh,
It was taken for the Flash
Yeah.
Gordon film.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
The Flash
but
Gordon film.
that hand that came into shot, that's right on the edge of the platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's somehow the ghost of Lucy Master floating in midair.
I just went,
Lucy
oh,
Saxon.
fucking hell, not again.
It's very weird.
Master.
Lucy Master.
Yeah.
Lucy McMasters.
And why is it that's the only tooth that falls out?
It's the only one left, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it's
guess
like,
maybe the cheap dental foundation has doomed the universe or something.
absolutely.
But I don't know, yeah. And the thing about his legions, I was expecting Clockwork Soldiers to pile in or something. But,
Well, for the land of fiction.
Clones of Dodo. That would be fun. I thought there was gonna be some twist with the, what was it called? The strange alien that was helping Unit out.
Yeah,
That's the first time we've seen that, right? I haven't missed
Yeah.
the Sarah Jane
yeah,
adventure.
we've got
or
no
anything.
idea where that actually came from.
Yeah,
I
I thought that was
think-
going to be the
There's no
Toymaker or
backstory.
something.
I
read
think
anything to
that's
it.
actually just put in there as set dressing in terms of world building.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're sort of trying to. Obviously, they're doing a making Unit massive.
Yeah.
You know, so they're.
There'll
but-
be the Unit spin-off, of course.
But, I mean, seriously, is every fucking person that walks in there going to get offered a job?
I did like Donna's quick
Yeah,
salary
120. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Well, every person that walks in is a Doctor Who companion.
That's what I mean.
So you would
know,
have
they all
thought
gonna
that they would
get
have offered
fucking
them a job
jobs.
instantly when they landed on the planet anyway.
This means Mel must have buttonholed Kate at the end of that Doctor Who Companions group that you saw at the end of Power of the
Probably.
Doctor. That's
But
fun.
to be fair, Kate was offering jobs.
Yeah. It's like work,
It's a
work,
civil,
work.
It's a civil service. You know.
Yeah.
The pensions are going to be
Yeah,
crap.
but the other thing is, you know, they're very sort of secure. Well, at one point they were.
You should go to your boss on Monday, Davey, and ask for double your salary and 5 weeks holiday.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll say aye.
What again?
Yeah, how's the job search going? All right, well, let's go a bit deeper in.
Where does Mel's great love of music... Well, Mel's love of great music, that's
Mathematics.
fine. But Donna's?
Yeah, I don't know.
that was a bit sort of like,
Yeah.
oh, remember those
Random.
abseiling lessons we had last summer?
Yeah.
I think Mel, it's the mathematics because music and like Dealey Derbyshire, you know, was sort of math,
Aye,
you know, a math
that's fair
genius,
enough.
but it was her way of expressing it was within the music.
And Mel
So you find a
finally-
lot of mathematicians have got an affinity for music.
So I know Bonnie Langford is ageless, but how old is Mel now? Because if Glitz died at 101,
78.
Glitz died at 101. How old was he in Iceworld? Was he like older than he looked?
Yeah, well, maybe it was an aging thing, you know, in terms of speed of light, etc.
Maybe. Or he was like 98 and looking good for it. Or something.
Maybe.
I think it'd have been nicer if his demise had been a bit, you know.
She wasn't
more
very sad
up,
about it.
You know. No, she wasn't.
Well, he was a hunter. I mean, you know, yeah, it's sad, but if somebody lives
You know,
to 100, you're like,
Was it he tripped over a whiskey bottle or something?
Yeah,
that was
Something like
quite funny because that's
But is Glitz was never known as being an alcoholic or a drinker. He was known as being a kind of wheeler dealer.
Or Delroy Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe at 100 he'd sort of got a bit less firm, and it was easier just to have a wee
It's
drink.
possible, but who the heck thought that Glitz and Mel, that was actually going to work
Yeah,
for,
I
more
think
than a few
opposites
weeks?
attract.
I think we're going to go
It
into a
would be
very
very
deep
opposite.
rabbit hole if we're going to start
Well,
talking
yeah.
about Glitz and Mel.
Well, maybe he was like 100 already in Ice World, and
Aye, could have
Mel
been.
murdered him, stole the spaceship, and
Yeah,
just
Still always grotties.
yeah. But it would be more appropriate.
maybe
if he'd, like,
her and Dibber got together.
it would have been more appropriate if he died by tripping over a pile of bootleg DVDs or something.
Something like that.
That's how I'm going to die.
Oh my goodness. We were talking about fan service and lack of and expectations in terms of Wild Blue Yonder, but this was like very fan service heavy, or at least, almost like, well, shit, he's reeling off this checklist when he's having that conversation with Tennant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's fan service so much as let's just mention a whole bunch of stuff.
Maybe.
Again, because it's the anniversary, they're trying to maybe cram some more sort of
Maybe it just
knowing
felt weird.
winks in you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
but,
like the thing with the puppets, which I quite liked.
oh yeah, the thing is though, I mean, okay, you got a bit of a rattling off and obviously the puppety thing, but these 3 specials do not feel like a celebration of 60 years to me.
They don't.
No.
They
Basically just
They're a
feel like a celebration
culmination
of Series 4.
Russell Series 4.
Yeah.
They're finishing off
Yeah.
that story. They're putting things in a nice place
Box
from which he
that
can
you
then
can put salt round.
go on.
Yeah.
Again, there was nothing from the new series Doctors.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
But I don't know.
We did get some colorized Hartnell with Celestial
Yeah, no, I
Toymaker
mean,
inserted
I'm not
in,
saying
so,
that there was absolutely nothing, but I mean, what there was fleeting, and it really wasn't substantial.
Well,
I don't
we've
mean
just
that in
done
a bad.
all the Doctors
Yeah,
back
I
at
mean-
the end of Jodie, though. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed the 3 stories in general,
Hmm.
but I would definitely say there was nothing there that it wouldn't give any hints of being a 60th celebration in any way.
I think that's a trap. I don't think it should be a requirement of anniversary sort of years or stories that they're somehow doing that. They should be good stories in their own right. And actually, I think it's a weakness of Giggle that it does cram in a bunch of references, all of which or most of which are not contextualized at all. It would have been, because there's absolutely nothing for someone who doesn't know Mel's backstory. It's just some woman and they talk about some guy called Glitz, There's no real kind of contextualization for a lot of the other verbal references.
Well, they do say that Mel's an ex-companion, so that's really all you need to know.
It's just, it's odd to me. That's all sat oddly. And I just don't think, these 3 specials should have had to be. I don't think it counts against them that they're not kind of anniversary laden in whatever way that is.
I think it
everything
can.
else around the anniversary, that is the anniversary celebration,
We've got a wider...
rather than the episodes in the middle, which are all about relaunch.
We've got a wider universe for that now, like Tales of the TARDIS.
Yeah, but as we said before, Tales of the TARDIS was an afterthought. It wasn't, part of the plan
But
to
it's
begin
not...
with. All I'm saying is that specials, a 60th anniversary specials, should at least have some element. You don't need a previous Doctors, but I think it would have served better if the Toymaker had been through each episode with the big finale at the end.
Yeah, potentially.
That would have maybe given more weight to it all.
But I just absolutely reject that it's some sort of need or requirement for anniversary specials to be...
I just think when you say the words anniversary special, you're celebrating something, and if you fail to celebrate it, then it's...
The word is special.
Yeah, exactly.
I can agree with Chaz here, if they were all kind of heralded as anniversary specials.
It'd be interesting to see if that combination of words was used. I mean, part of that's publicity. It's the anniversary year, so you can use that to propel the programme to a higher profile. But you've had
Doctor
plenty of
Who-
specials that aren't anniversary specials, and nobody's complained that they haven't had.
That's because
Whatever.
they haven't had the word anniversary in front.
Doctor
Yeah, no,
Who
what
has
I'm saying
had
is
so
that-
many anniversary specials now. And how many Doctors are we up to, depending how you count it, how you number it, who you include, who you don't, what order you put them in.
We've only
So
had
that
3
is just
anniversary specials.
asking for trouble now.
It just needs to be good. It needs to be good Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes, I would rather have good non-specials than
Than the 5 Doctors.
bad specials. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Exactly.
I just
I'll get
think
my
they
coat.
marketed it wrong. If that's what they wanted, the way they wanted to do it, that's fine. But they marketed it badly.
What we're saying though, and Chaz touched on it earlier, was about there was no sense of loss of losing a doctor and gaining a doctor.
But that's because we didn't lose a Doctor, so there
I know,
couldn't
but
have been.
To me, regeneration stories are always about.
Bitter sweetness.
Yeah.
Well, this wasn't a regeneration story, it turns out, was it? It was a bi-generation story. So, yeah, absolutely.
Does it matter about its sexual preference?
But no, I mean, fair enough. Maybe we just want to be miserable. But no, I totally hear what you're saying. But this is not a regeneration story, it turns out. So it's it's a new thing, and that's really exciting. I mean, there's, I think it's sort of a comic point, really. But it's like Tennant will just go on forever at this rate.
Excellent. This is all good.
Wasn't there something said about Shooty was from the future?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was
I
said.
think I
programme?
missed that.
Well, Connor and I would said something about. Anyway, I think I need to watch it again. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've only watched it once.
He's making it up as he goes along.
But
Hey, Russell or Chaz?
my point being that if he is from, say, a time within the future, then maybe it's like a closed loop that Tennant will appear at some point.
Well, this is the ultimate version of that annoying new series thing where the Doctor can park his regeneration for a farewell tour.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't
Get
know.
the t-shirts
I'm-
printed and
I'm
stuff. Yeah.
making pure guesses here.
Well, can
But I'm
Tennant
pre-
still regenerate, I wonder?
Well,
We're going to have to have a new numbering system. We thought
Well,
Chibnall
maybe
had thought
that's
that.
the point. Maybe we're just going to dump any numbering system
Or
because let's be honest,
Dewey
it's a-
Decimal System.
No, it's he's now the 14th.
300.36.
He's now the 14th cutaway.
yeah. I mean, in some ways, it would be great if we dumped the numbering system because it's got really fucking silly.
Well, it's
anyway.
a sort of externality now, isn't it? We need a way to refer to them.
I think it's only fans that give a shit about that.
fans and
be
people are
honest.
trying to write about the programme. You know.
Yeah, but usually people that are trying to write about the programme are fans as well.
Are people trying to write scripts?
Yeah, that's like.
You
No,
just
it's
say, oh, that scraggly Scottish bloke.
Well, that's 3 at least.
Often wondered about like Big Finish, and I haven't heard of Big Finish for a long time, but I always thought they did a decent job. But if you're sitting as a Big Finish writer and sitting down, the continuity must really get on your nuts.
I think a lot of this is leading to, because Russell said continuity means nothing anymore, or something like that. Because one of the great quotes was, continuity is fantastic, but we don't let it get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
So
But if you are writing stories, you have to have something in your head.
You have to have a
you can
framework.
sort of respect the past, but you're not slave to it.
No,
Maybe.
fair enough. I think this is Russell the writer making a blank check for himself now.
I think so, yeah.
So he doesn't have to go through the
The
complete
agony of
program guide to.
yeah, sort of like, oh God, if I do this, then that thing that was said in the Keys of Marinus episode 3 is fucked.
You know that Stephen Moffat is already working on his flowchart.
I tell you something, if they blow continuity up, fucking Moffat will just be found on the
be
streets
gibbering in
of
a corner.
Cardiff.
All right, well, let's talk about a few specifics in the episode. So, did we enjoy the unit setting?
Oh, the Avengers Tower thing.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I did remember when the first bit of it started to fall down, I said, they just can't have anything nice, can they? I
love the
think
colours.
the government is overcompensating now after they kind of fucked unit over for a joke. Now it's like, yeah, we're just going to give you money when you ask us.
It used to be a secret organisation in nice country homes with, guidance.
And
Now I think the budget is the secret bit because that must be half the budget of the world.
but
by the looks of it.
didn't the tea lady know about it? Remember? When the doctor said, this is off limits to anyone but the Brigadier's personal staff and the tea lady.
Yeah. Well, it was the Grand Serpent's attempts to sabotage unit. This has all been backfired horribly.
So, I mean, look, the last story, well, not the last story, obviously, but Power of the Doctor, the big unit fucking skyscraper came to the ground, so they have got fuck tons. They have got
Where
a
they get the
black
funding
ops
from?
Well, that's
budget.
what I've just said.
Well, it's like, like black projects in America, in the
Merch.
CIA, where they basically got like unlimited funds. That's
It's
basically
where
it.
we're working at the moment. We can't get blooming pens, for God's sake.
Yeah, but it's going towards the defence of the country against people with tinfoil.
Do we think they still have the Tower of London as a backup facility though? Because
Oh.
I like that.
It
Yeah,
was kind of cute, wasn't
nice
it?
and cosy.
Looked a bit like Cardiff Castle.
Yeah. Oh god.
All right. What about the scenes in the toy maker's shop?
Very good.
I just
They
wish.
were probably some of the best.
Some of the
Shut
best.
up, yours in a couple of folk here.
Stop.
I'm only joking.
I never let him talk normally, so what about you, Izzy? Did you enjoy those?
Yeah, because they were a lot more like the original Celestial Toy Maker. You had more like the maze idea or that kind of thing, and that worked really well. And you got Donna just throwing the toys out of the pram without the pram.
She did
Which
a lot
was
better
funny.
against the puzzles and tricks than the Doctor did, actually. But I liked I'm already running.
That was a good line.
Yeah, and the doors within doors, and they were very silly, of course. The moment they get through a door at a different time, of course it's going to slam and separate them.
Yeah.
I think
And
you
the
know-
nice lighting based on the card deck and things like that. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think the only thing I wasn't keen on was the fucking accent change every 2 minutes.
The accent was annoying though.
I liked
Yeah,
it.
It
I found
kept on
Because it was-
coming and going.
It
I
was
don't-
deliberately false.
Yeah, I'd have preferred them
More
just to
falsetto.
either stick to one fucking accent, either German, English, whatever.
Yeah, I was sat watching it with my partner who was sworn to silence while we watched it for the first time, but is also German, so I thought I could hear some clenching.
The other thing I wasn't 100% certain, the whole thing in present day, was that resolved by the toy maker like getting defeated?
Oh, they'd cancelled out the Giggle by zapping the satellite, I think, hadn't they?
So yes, they did. So we
Right.
assume that resolved it all, but we
Yeah.
didn't get any shots showing that the populace
Well,
was
they
back to
did
normal.
say the Giggle was in every screen.
But only the full link up of the satellite let it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I like that as a fairly obvious metaphor for the kind of
Well,
the world we're in with misinformation and everybody being right all
That
the
was
time.
clever.
Oh,
aye.
that was funny.
I could have done a
liked
bit more of that, I think.
Yeah.
it was funny because when they were saying about, what I said, that sounds like Twitter.
Well,
No,
I
obviously.
mean, and Donna's nice snarky line with the government, or like, I don't care about you lot. And she's like, no change there then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't that keen in, the last shot of Wolf being like a stand-in
Yeah.
at distance.
They
they could've-
didn't have any more footage they
Well,
could
no,
I
use.
but-
know, but they didn't have to have him in this.
Yeah,
episode.
exactly. They could have just moved the action on.
Uh-huh.
And Donna could have entered the scene and said, I've got somebody looking after Gramps, what's happening? It was just, I know what you mean, it's a bit of a pity, but...
Oh, by the way, hate Bernard Cribbins. I
Good.
want my £1,000.
Excellent. Hit him, Chaz.
I'll tell you why. Right said Fred. those two baldy guys talking about being too sexy for their pants and stuff.
Yes,
Hate 'em
well,
for that.
it's the shooty anthem. All right. Well, no. If you'd listened carefully, you would have noticed that Chaz was going to assault whoever had confessed to that. So,
If I don't get my money, I'm taking it out in Doctor Who figures.
I believe if you read the small print in the show notes, you would have spotted that the
Chaz! Stop it!
the £1,000 were the sort of pound that you do on a table rather than. So.
Take that. Wow.
Boyzone.
No, it was definitely Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
That was funny, actually.
There
That
was
was
look.
funny.
too long.
Think at End of the World. We got
Yeah,
toxic
yeah.
and we got so.
Aye, we've seen it.
And the
we've seen
jukebox
it.
is bad.
Yeah. We've
That's
seen
kind
it
of
before, yeah.
I was like, the jukebox is going to be the toy maker or something. I don't know. It's like, everything's the toy maker. I had thought we talked about the unsatisfactoriness of the ball game as the kind of ultimate showdown, and I had thought it would be something clever like he goes to grab it and falls, and that would be the kind of
He
resolution.
should have been hoisted by his own petard, shouldn't he? Really?
Well,
I didn't know Picard was in it.
In what way?
Yeah,
You know, more than just a clumsy catch. It should have been.
should have been more hubris or something.
Yeah.
like a different ball or a hand grenade or something. That's a bit violent, but yeah.
I've just remembered what Connor was saying, that he is annoyed by there still being Lieutenant Doctor, because it's sort of like you've got Shooty but you've still got Tennant hanging around, and Shooty playing sort of second fiddle, because even the TARDIS isn't the original TARDIS. He takes the second one. Now, none of that matters in any
That's
way.
just
But
tokenistic.
I know. But the point Connor was making is it doesn't matter about all that, because that's the stick that arseholes will use to beat it with.
Arseholes will find a stick.
Yeah, but why give them the voice in the
It's not
first
that
place?
good a stick. It's there's always going to be a stick for racists or
Yeah,
whoever wants
there
to
is, but
complain about.
You're
the-
actually giving them a bit of an own goal.
Well,
on
only
that
if you
one.
buy into that being a weakness, which I don't.
I don't
And
particularly
if we're
like
going
the idea.
multiverse, then, you know, there's going to be multiple series, and
Aye.
that's fine.
I don't particularly like the idea of having two doctors vying for each other, you know.
But they're not going to be vying for each other. There'll be things that are on at different times in different places, and look on it as variety and
But
diversity.
we don't know that for definite. We
No,
don't
we
know
don't.
what the exact plan is.
The stall that's been
But
set out
obviously,
is
they're
very.
not going to put them on against each other.
To
Yeah.
me,
The stall that's
Shooty-
been set out is
Sorry.
very different directions, you know. So it's like, it would be utterly baffling if they're all having a joint adventure next week or anything, you know. It's,
But what you don't know, what I'm trying to explain, what you don't want is one set of fans being Shooty fans, the other set of fans being David Tennant fans.
spread betting.
You know, you don't it'd be like Rangers and Celtic.
Oh
you know.
God, yeah.
You're better off having one doctor.
They are not going to mind or think there's competitions, and Doctor Who fans themselves, well, they always have an order of preference anyway.
But the other thing is that people who are not fans but will tune in, you run the risk of them getting really fucking confused. You know?
But
Saying,
they'll have their favourites as well.
Why is he... what happened to the other guy? And,
Well, maybe if they're
you know,
completely separate programs, then
But again, you're splitting the budget.
then
aren't
you're
you?
splitting it and splitting possible splitting ratings.
well, why not?
Whatever.
I mean, he's talked about wanting to widen the multiverse. What a way to do it.
Look, I agree. I think I'm all for seeing more, but I am just saying what is likely in terms of confusion and perception. And there are going to be, it's not just dickheads on Twitter, there are going to be certain media
dickheads on
organisations.
Twitter?
Apparently, yeah.
Not many.
Certain media organisations that will, happily bash it to fuck.
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck them, but...
I'm not going to waste my energy worrying about any of that.
Again, it's
But
just
multiple
a personal
doctors
preference.
isn't going to be instant.
No, I don't think
they
it
have
will be.
part 14 nicely for the moment. all the attention will go on to 15 for a good time, so that he's established and all the rest of it, and then they'll start widening out.
So is there going to be a new Pertwee era with the Tenant Doctor, the 14th Doctor kind of Earthbound? And I would love it if they sort of settled it into like a Midsummer Murders kind of thing, where there's like some new mystery to solve in the in Chiswick each week. That'd be great.
Actually, how many scientific advisors does UNIT now have?
Well, she was 56.
She was 56.
Was
but
the
now
Doctor
that
the first
14
one?
is back,
No, this show was the first one.
so our current one, as of, last
56.
week, is number 56. But Tennant is back. Well, 14 is back, who is also scientific advisor, which means that Kate's budget is going up yet again, because either those two are going to have to sort of have a bit of a job swap thing
Job
and
share.
do
Yeah,
job share.
We don't know the Tenant's going to be the
Yeah.
scientific
Yeah,
advisor.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, for all we know, he's going to fuck off.
Kate can't afford it now that Donna's stiffed her for that double salary.
exactly.
Anyway, so there's lots of interesting times ahead, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Let's talk about the Christmas trailer, shall we? At the end, did we all watch that?
Yeah.
We did.
I was excited. I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
All right, that's we'll move on.
Come on. We've got Doctor Who back on Christmas Day. This
Yeah.
is fabulous.
I'll be honest, I mean, yeah, it looks
And
good,
goblins.
And goblins.
but all it got me thinking about was Labyrinth.
Although David Bowie in a tight
Yeah.
leotard is, he can have a crotch off with Shooty. Yeah,
Was this a dream you had?
it was. Yeah,
I had the same dream.
yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Nice that they got Jennifer Connelly involved.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
The lead
She's
of
the
Labyrinth.
girl in Labyrinth.
I've still never seen Labyrinth.
I don't know if Mel's a scientific advisor necessarily. It's
Just a
Just
an
advisor.
programmer or
She's a
something.
computer programmer.
Yeah.
Finally,
From
from
Peace
Peace
Cottage.
Cottage.
That's a hell of a commute.
I passed there when I was doing Visit Nally.
Oh, really?
Did you?
I bet Ali's been there.
Yeah.
Which one would her house be? The one with all the fitness gear in the backyard and a skip.
The carriages.
Oh god, there's nothing like having lots of people on to make it more random than usual.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything burning they want to say about the Giggle?
I'm trying to think. No.
I know we'll have 200 more things to say about
As I
the
say,
time.
I liked most of it.
Mhm.
Not too keen in the end.
In terms of the bifurcation of the Doctor or the resolution?
Well, yeah, as I was saying before, it seemed to be David Tennant's story, even
Mhm.
at the end, where it should really be Shooty's story.
yeah, I think the rules are flexible.
Should
It's
have
just-
got years to come.
It's personal preference here we're talking. If it had been a kind of finale for that era of Doctors, and if it had been the Doctor's final regeneration, and it was just Tennant left,
Getting his happy ending.
And if he
Happy
got really
ending.
old, and if he went up the top of some tower and shouted at a bunch of Daleks,
and if he didn't have the TARDIS, I thought that was a wee bit cringy.
it's interesting, isn't it? Because I sort of felt offended for the TARDIS, although she did apologise to her. So,
And it'd have been quite nice if he'd went in and it was his old TARDIS.
I was wondering if it would be
That would have been
actually.
quite nice.
probably
Might
jumped
not,
the set.
Yeah.
I
Look at a
just,
green screen.
Or the set's in an exhibition somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still stuck on the whole perception. It's because like when we were talking a while ago, we were talking about when Doctor Who's on at that moment, you're more sort of concerned
Yeah, yeah.
about perception, and it doesn't matter in retrospect. And this is what I'm saying about perception. It's more forefront mainly because it's now, and knowing the way things get twisted.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But
Twister's gonna twist.
yeah, I know. But like you said yourself, you do get anxious
Yeah.
and whatever about the show when it's
When it's current.
in current.
Let's see how we
That's
feel
all.
at Christmas then, eh?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Definitely.
As I
Our
say,
worry will be over by
I-
Christmas.
yeah, I think we're in for interesting times, and I'm very interested to listen to the commentary.
Well, let's do that by
Just
tomorrow.
as soon
Yeah.
as we finish.
Yeah.
And then you'll phone me up and go, I've changed my mind about everything.
Unlikely.
So, out of the three that we've just watched over the past 3 weeks, which one of them
Star
do we
Beast.
all... Yeah, Star Beast is the
Well, I
one
don't know what
I
you're
end
actually
up
going to ask
watching. Would you watch again and again?
Star Beast.
Wild Blue Yonder.
Oh, interesting.
And then Star Beast and then Giggle.
Just tried to be different, aren't you?
No, I thought it was a brilliant, brilliant episode. It's most standalone as well, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Davey, what about you?
Yeah, I would say Star Beast, like the three of them. But my reasons are, I gave
Yeah.
earlier.
Comic book, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I just was more entertained by the Star Beast.
Yeah.
Wild Blue Yonder, it's a bit like Midnight, whereas, I'll put it on, if I was rewatching or watching, I'd maybe watch Midnight once or twice, whereas I'd watch Last of the Time Lords over and over.
You have to want to be scared.
So that's
Yeah.
another question about this.
Yeah, I mean...
Because this is all, Dr. Donna. So I've just been rewatching all of season 4, more or less nightly,
Yeah.
over the last couple of weeks. You've watched all of season 4 again, Chaz, haven't you?
Yeah.
What about you, Tim?
I
Has
have
it
not.
triggered a rewatch in you?
It hasn't, but it might yet do. I've got to watch Giggle again. I haven't watched any of them twice, actually, although I did watch the
No.
commentary for Star Beast. But that didn't really count because I was listening to them rather than watching the action. So, yeah, I've yet to have my sort of official second time surrounded by people and acrobats and things. That'll come. I'm sort of not in any great rush, but I think it would be nice to watch them all again before Christmas, put that to bed and then enjoy Shooty in the limelight.
Yeah, here's to the future.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's that song from Delta and the Bannerman, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hoped you wouldn't have mentioned that. It's an awful story.
I hope you wouldn't sing that. Okay. Well, any final thoughts, or shall we talk about our cheating memories?
What was that again?
Very good.
A man is the sum of his memories, a Time Lord even more so.
This is the part of the show called Your Cheating Memory. So we have randomly selected an old episode of Doctor Who and gone away and rewatched it, and in a great big hurry. We've had to cram in 6 episodes of The Abominable Snowmen in only a few days, but Chaz has the animation, so we watched that yesterday, and we also watched the existing episode 2 after watching the animated version, just for comparison. But I'd like to invite our guests, Dave and Izzy, if you have sort of seen the animation, or what you think of the story, how long it's been since you've seen it, any of that.
I have to say, it's not one of my favourite stories.
Mm-hmm.
I find it quite slow.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I haven't watched it for many years.
So you've seen, what, just the reconstruction, Jelly Snaps
the
version?
odd episodes.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the animated version yet.
right.
I'd quite like to see, see if it maybe helps a wee bit.
We'll see if it puts you off when we talk about it.
I have to say that the Yetis themselves, I find a bit laughable,
Oh.
a bit too cuddly.
Yeah.
They were so much better when they brought them back in the Web of Fear.
Yes.
What about you, Z?
I would agree that I much prefer Web of Fear generally to Abominable Snowman.
Well, we can see more of it, which has
Yeah.
got to be a huge help. But I think what we sort of said when we watched the animation was, and especially when we then watched the real episode, was the animation doesn't help with the pace, sadly. Yeah, the silent moments are not really brought to life much by the animation. And when we watched episode 2 after the animated version, it was palpable how much the camera work was doing. So the framing of the shots was very different from how they composited the animations. And then also the camera was moving a lot, and the atmosphere was really helping
Also,
that.
the characters were, doing a lot more.
Oh, I think we lose like 98%.
Standing there.
We lose 98% of the Trout face by
Terrible.
having it animated. But
Yeah.
that said, I still had fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice way to watch it rather than telesnaps, which is how I first
Oh
watched
god,
it.
I mean, I'd have slit my wrist if we'd have had to watch fucking telesnaps.
It'll come, my friend, it'll come.
Well.
But don't you find with the animations that sometimes, because they're very variable, the animations, there's been so many different styles
Yeah.
choices, and those style choices, the next time something else comes out, it's a totally different style
You were
choice.
saying just that, weren't you?
And very often, there are ones where I have physically just gone, oh dear, and I've closed my eyes and increased my enjoyment of watching the animated
Well, yeah.
episode.
I guess there's something to be
And
said
then
for
there's
the
some I
soundtrack.
really like.
I have not seen all the animations, partly because when I did my watch through from the beginning, some of them hadn't been released at that point, so Abominable Snowmen included. I think Faceless Ones wasn't out, Underwater Menace definitely wasn't. I think The Invasion was, that might have been...
Yeah,
What
that
was
was
the
one
first
of the
one?
first one. That
Yeah.
was...
But they only animated the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Macro Terror's been done since as well, I think.
Macro Terror was good. It reminded me of a McCoy story.
So I haven't seen probably most of the animations because I haven't yet gone back to fill in the gaps with the
I
animations.
have to say, I quite like the animated stories. Some of them are better than others, but you could see some of the stories are better than others.
Yeah. So it's not a level playing field.
See,
really.
I think the likes of Moonbase, Evil of the Daleks,
That's nice.
10th Planet, episode 4. I really like them, but I would say, if I had to be honest, I think I would rather just listen to the soundtrack with audio narration, linking it.
Filling in the
No,
gaps.
that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
What do
Rather
you feel
than-
about the recent trend where you can watch either, for the black and white ones, either black and white or a colorized
Black
version
and
of
white,
the
I
animations?
prefer.
You prefer
Is there a
the
black and white version of that?
Yeah.
Most
yeah,
of them. They
but-
do it with most of them. The ones I like the best are the ones they tend to stylise the characters more. I think it's Martin Geraghty who's the comic strip artist. He worked in a lot of the...
Yeah, he was on the credits for the Abominable Snowmen.
Yeah, he did quite a lot of the comic strips in the monthly, and he works in a lot of the character designs. And those are the ones I like the best.
Yeah.
The ones when they're not trying to replicate real people, because as soon as they try and replicate faces realistically, they just look horrible. You know, they look
I thought it was a decent Trouton, but obviously not so expressive as the real Magic Trout face. But the I'm just trying to get a fish reference in for the show title. I'm getting the look
You're
from
just a
Chaz.
Hardy.
Just what?
You're just a Hardy.
Big Hardy.
Oh no. The I think it was fun. I liked it a lot. I didn't see any bombs or bowls or snowmen, but the it's good to know this black and white version, because to answer your thing, Izzy, I think I want there to be all the options out there, especially if it's not a big deal to turn the colour off or whatever. But do you think they make different kind of contrasts with the black and white versions, or is it just a decolorized version?
Decolorized.
I'm...
You kept it quiet for me that there was a black and white version. Was that deliberate?
No, it's just I didn't have it.
Right. Fair.
I would have put the black and white version on over the colour anyway.
Although the one thing we did learn was that they didn't realise the TARDIS console was green, not to be green, but just to look better in black and white. Because there's bright green TARDIS console.
I know.
It's like...
I've got a bit of a problem sometimes with the animations in terms of license. They sometimes just decide to, oh fuck it, we'll make it like this because I mean, I don't mind a little bit of dramatic license or something, but if an episode or a couple of episodes exist, don't start fucking about with it too much.
There were just weird differences between episode 2 and the animation, because like the control sphere was in the centre of in the real one and off to one side in the animation. I just don't know why.
There's quite a few stories where they literally, they've cut out some scenes, like in Power of the Daleks, I believe it's at the start where Trouton's doing a little dance with the
But they probably cut that because he goes on to make a little love and get down tonight.
Well, yeah. Barry White was in the corner as well. Yeah.
I think exactly the opposite. I like it when they go out their way to do something more visually striking.
I don't know. I mean, as long as it's successful. I thought the Abominable Snowmen, looking at the camera framing in the real episode, there was a lot more dynamic kind of composition of the shots, and it was very flat. It's like all three characters in a line against the background sort of thing.
I think it's like, Day of the Daleks, right? Now,
What's that again?
the preferable for me anyway way to watch it is I really like the way they've done the sort of update and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think it's
Me
great.
too.
We saw that
But
here.
would you release that without the standard 4-part version?
No.
No. And you're not getting a chance to see that in some of the animations. You're getting an interpretation of it. I know budgets and everything, impacts all these things. But it's like, if they've enhanced it slightly, then that's what you're going to have in your mind or whatever. But the people that saw it originally are just going to get fucking irked, and they don't have access to actually seeing it.
I'm not
the way
kind of
they-
sure about
they
that
like
because what they're doing now, they're doing the full story
Yeah,
as an animation,
yeah, no, I
and
get that.
the additional element to that is the existing episodes.
Yeah.
Rather than kind of mix and match.
I'm trying to sort of edit in, animated episodes, whereas you would then make them black and white and make them maybe the background slightly less interesting.
I think we've got two things under discussion really. One is making cuts to it to compact it down, which obviously will save you animation time and therefore money. But also there's kind of zooping up or otherwise messing with the
Yeah,
story. I think as long as you can get access to the full story, even if it's just in audio, I don't want anything of it to disappear, especially because these were lost once already. Hey, I was also thinking, Davey, when the BBC wipe the tapes of the Star Beast, we can get Dave Mills and Pat Gibbons, or Dave Gibbons and Pat Mills. We can get the
Mills and
artists.
Pat Gibbons, are those friends of yours?
Yes, we can get the Funky Gibbon back in to animate it. No, we can get the original artist back in to do the animation.
I actually thought about that because I know Big Finish have done a lot
They've
of
done it,
comic strips,
Comic strip
and
adaptation.
they've got Tom in to do them.
Yeah, done the
Oh.
Iron Legion.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be great if they could get Dave Gibbons in, do an animated version.
That
of
would be
it.
cool. If anybody would.
Should do it with that Shadow. Remember they did the Flash animation?
Of which one of the
for,
hundreds of shadows?
Oh my god.
So many.
So Big Finish are like the creationists of Doctor Who Expanded Universe, because whenever there's new lore, like tonight, they're going to be rubbing their hands because this isn't new evidence for evolution. This is 2 more gaps in the fossil record.
Oh, it's even better than that because now you've got left with 14. Well, he's free to go off and do fuck ton of adventures.
I want him to be just doing fuck all the time. It's like that idea we had.
He's like a guest that's overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, that would be great. It's like it becomes like a sort of 80s sitcom where
He's sort of hanging about in Rose's shed or something.
I did like Sylvia's line about I don't know, I haven't got started yet or whatever with the evil stepmother bit. But yeah, no, I think her and Wilf off camera having hushed discussions about how we're going to get him to leave.
Yeah.
He's not really Mungo.
And Rose is like, "Oh, it'll be such fun."
You'd be just Donna will be sort of there with the local paper, circling houses and just leaving the paper lying about.
Mel walks in with a bottle of carrot juice and he's like, "Right, I'm out."
The sonic screwdriver and all the ATM machines.
It's just doing DIY with it all the time. It's like Sean's like, "Put those shelves up, mate." No, there's some fanfic to be had here.
Oh fuck yeah!
Doctor in the house.
Oh god! Getting back to the animation we were talking about.
Well, I think we should talk about the actual story because we've covered the animation, but not really the story. So, Davey, you're saying it's quite slow, and I can't disagree, but it was palpably more enjoyable when we had some real footage to look at and real Trout. I think for me the first impression of it was definitely the Target book way back, and that cover.
What's this first Target book I own?
Yeah, and you've always had that kind of sort of iconic but lost thing before Web of Fear was largely recovered. And at first, so it would have been 5 Doctors, of course. So
Is it a false memory or is it something to do with the book? Because I always remember with Abominable Snowmen, I was quite disappointed because it wasn't in the snow.
yes, well, yeah, because famously there wasn't much snow where they filmed. Was
I
it?
think in the book,
Probably.
They said it was like snowing in the book.
Yeah.
And I always
Snowdrift.
thought it was going to be. I mean, it's in Snowdonia, I suppose.
Yeah. Did you notice that like, in the first episode there was bits of snow that they'd animated in?
I thought they tried to split the difference.
Yeah. and I was saying when we were watching this, it's not very fucking snowy, is it?
It was like patches.
Yeah.
So I say, I don't know if it was a false memory or
Have to go back
if
to the
it's
target
something
book.
to do with the book.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Because, you've tried to film something and it's supposed to be in the snow-wrapped Himalayas and it's not. So if you got the book, you may as well redress that.
I suppose the books are embellishing upon what.
Was it a Terrence Dicks?
Oh God!
Oh,
Obviously, it must have been. He wrote what out of 150, he wrote about 149.
It's the one with the great Achilles cover.
Yeah.
You know, with.
With the thing and patch out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was the first Target novel I ever got.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think mine was Three Doctors.
I can't remember.
Because I went into, would have been John Menzies at the time.
No.
And
wow.
I picked this one up. I thought, what's this? And it was signed with Tom Baker.
Oh, wow.
God.
So I
Nice.
thought, I'm having this.
What, the Three Doctors?
Doesn't matter.
He must have,
Yeah.
I think he'd been in making a
Probably.
personal appearance. And
I-
he just signed a lot of the books.
I got mine at Jumbo sale.
Did you?
I got it for about 5p or something, but I was mesmerised because I never actually knew there was Doctor Who books.
Mine was Seeds of Death.
Oh.
And I was ill. So it was a
Oh,
present.
Was that bad? Oh, no, I see.
But yeah, because I was in bed and I was ill and it was like, oh wow.
Just
I don't remember, but I do have a memory of browsing the Target books, which were on a kind of rotating shelf thing in Aberdeen Library. This is how I met my oldest friend. This doleful voice from behind me just said, "Don't take that one, it's rubbish."
Was it Marvin?
Very much so. It was my friend William, who's up in Aberdeen, where I grew up. And yeah, we became firm friends and used to stroll up and down to the library and to probably John Menzies as well in Aberdeen. I would not eat my lunch, and every 2 days my lunch money would buy me a Target book. It's like how times have changed.
Most of my Target books came from the library, and then found their way into my bookshelves.
Yeah, it just
There was a
outrageous.
newsagent and it had all the Doctor Who books. But once I'd finished and I'd bought them all, I was having to do really awful things like buy travels without the travels with the TARDIS.
Jesus, I
you know
remember
that
that.
American thing that
That's
was
fucking
bright
awful,
yellow.
wasn't it?
And
I think
you
you were
just
right first time, wasn't it? Travels Without.
travels
That's right,
without.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Still got it.
I actually, what I used to do, you know, when you could request books from other libraries, so I would say where, ask and find out the list from my library where they were, and I would just get on the train and go to those libraries.
What, you're a one-man criminal network?
I was,
Yeah.
Well, at least you wouldn't pirate
And made
anything
of
nowadays.
But I
money.
did buy the Five Doctors because I remember when I was at high school, they had one of those, the book club things.
Yeah.
Aye.
I love that.
And they came round, and I'd sort of signed on for that one. And I'm pretty sure I got it a week before transmission.
Ooh. Well, the book was out for the...
Yeah.
It was.
Blimey.
Didn't you get it from one of your classmates you kind of stole it from?
Me?
Yeah.
No,
No,
that
I
was
bought
the
it.
clap.
All right, yeah. I thought your
I do because I...
criminal tendencies.
No, I do remember because my teacher, one of the teachers called me out of class, and we were walking up to the office to get it, and we were talking about Doctor Who. 'Cause
Obviously.
he was a big fan as well, so yeah.
But it had
Always
such an
a
annoying
silver
cover.
cover. I liked it.
Look, the silver cover, it looks great,
Yeah.
but the second you lifted it just to purchase it, never mind read the dratted thing,
but-
it's smudged
No.
forever.
Nah.
But you rub it all over your face and you can be a Raston warrior.
No.
Not
See,
good enough.
If you had stolen enough books like I had, you would spare those plastic
covers.
jacket things.
Yeah.
I used to put mine into all of those plastic covers
There
as
you go.
well. You've just reminded me, I'd forgotten it.
My criminal activities were logical.
So we're going to do a new segment next week called What Has Chaz Stolen Now?
Well, your virginity.
Yeah, I want it back.
If you look behind the fridge, it's there.
Fake knocked her loan.
Couldn't get anything for it on eBay, huh? No,
Slightly soiled.
how do you know my drag name?
Mine's is Juliet Bravado.
I like that, that's good.
Yeah, I've no interest in drag, but because I've came up with that name, I really want to do it
Can't let it
because
go
I
to
just
waste.
think that's a fucking great
The
drag name.
return of Dave Lee Haney.
Look, when I give the word, press the button. The big one? Yes, maybe it works in conjunction with the others.
Okay, well, having watched the Abominable Snowmen, let's choose another episode. So, gonna fire up the randomizer.
All right, well, let's try and find out. Now, what could it be?
Oh, it's Flatline. Excellent. Very excited about that one. So, we'll go off and watch Flatline and let you know our flat thoughts to the flat beat. And I wish I'd never said those jokes.
I challenge you to a game.
Well, it's challenge time. So I've asked Chaz to watch The Mutants. It's the Doctor Who story he's never been able to get through. And so, tell me, my friend, have you watched it?
Go fuck yourself. It's been 3 fucking days since we done the last podcast. We've had to watch the fucking Abominable Snowman. Do you honestly think I have any time to do it?
You know what, that's fair enough. Next week?
Yeah.
It's the end. But the moment has been prepared for.
9 times out of 10.
So, I'd like to thank David and Izzy for joining us, and I won't thank Chaz for joining us. But I just want to insult you somehow.
How about, I'd like to thank Dave and Izzy for joining us, and Chaz for splitting into 2.
You're funny guys. You're kind of Bud Abbott to Chaz's Sid Little.
See, it sounds funnier on the podcast.
You're the Charlie to my Chaplin.
Yeah, to
All
my
right.
Chan.
Thank you to David and Izzy for joining us. And if you'd like to get in touch, or if you've got the giggle, then you can. That's so obvious. But never mind. If you'd like to get in touch, or if you've got the giggle, then you can get in touch at randomizerpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Mastodon, randomizerpod at mastodon.social, or you can watch us on YouTube, where we have trippy visuals to go along with the episode sound. So that is tinyurl.com/randomizer YouTube. And in all cases, David.
What?
All right, Isabel.
Didn't even know you were on YouTube.
Charles.
That is randomizer with an S, not
A Z.
That's very, very good. And you know what? Those two are sacked and you keep your job.
I'll get
No
a job
change
in
there.
So, Izzy, tell me more about this chicken pizza.
The chicken pizza was absolutely gorgeous. More of an insight was watching Chaz pour table salt all over his, because I've never ever seen anyone do that on a pizza before.
Did you say I wish I hadn't done that thing with the salt?
yeah.
No, he just poured more.
Talking about Doctor Who, Tim. Yeah, pay attention.